In this video I'll teach you how to make this sound. It's the lead from Tremor by Dimitri Vegas and Like Mike. You can follow along or you can go to my website mattflank.com to get the preset so you don't have to follow all the steps. My name is Matt Flank. Let's get started. Okay, so that is a lead from Tremor. As you can see, I made it in silent. The reason is I tried it in Serum, I tried it in Vital, in Operator, in Wavetable. I tried a bunch of different synthesizers and I found the best and most accurate result to come in silent. You can obviously follow this tutorial in any other synthesizer that uses basic waveforms and some effects, but it will not sound as similar as this one. So now that we got that out of the way, let's break down this sound. So while making the sound for you, I forgot to disable all the processing that I did after silent, so we will start with that so we have the exact same sound. So we have the OTT, you can see all the values right there. Then we have an EQ8. Then we have Bittersweet, which is a transient shaper. I added a bit of transient punch to it, fast, set it to 15.6%. And then a sidechain compressor. We'll start from an initial preset. So let's go to Menu, Init Preset. And there we go. So before we start with the oscillators, let's set the polyphony to 16 voices, to 16 notes actually. So on oscillator 1 there is not much we want to change. We're going to start by setting the voices to 8. We're going to disable the retrigger, set the stereo to 6 and a little bit. So right there, 6.29 is fine. Then we're going to set the detuning to around 4, just like that. We're going to change the phase a little bit to almost 40. Right there. Let's listen to what it sounds like right now. Now for the second oscillator. We're going to also set this to 8 voices. Leave the volume up. Leave the phase down. Leave the detunement down. Leave the stereo up. But we're going to change the waveform to this one as well, to a saw wave as well. Next up, for the amp envelope, we're going to set the decay all the way up. Just like that. And the release is going to be at just over 2. So 2.3, somewhere like that. Right there. Let's listen to it again. So we have essentially oscillator A, which is doing the detune part. And then we have oscillator B, so oscillator 2, which is doing the saw in the middle. Just like that. And now it is time to move to some modulation envelopes, which is going to be the pitch envelope. Modulation envelope 2 for this one. We're going to select pitch AB, and this is going to add this little pitch bend in the start of the sound. We're going to leave everything as it is, except for the decay, which is going to be set to 1.5. We're going to do the same for LFO 2. Pitch AB. Set the rate to 1/2, but we're going to leave the gain down. And then we're going to set here with miscellaneous LFO 2 the rate and the gain. The gain we're going to set to 1.4 and the rate we're going to set to 3.8. Next up, let's add some portamento. We're going to turn this up to around 4.7. Let's take another listen. Not really much of a difference, but what is going to make a difference is when we introduce the filter. So for the filter type, we're going to select a bandpass filter. We're going to select it to 12 dB and we're going to distort this filter. So we're going to increase the drive to around 4.2 and we're going to increase the cutoff to 38.6 Hertz, or decrease it rather. Make sure it is set to oscillator A to filter A, right there. And let's take another listen. This is a very big difference, as you can hear. Now let's change the filter control. We're going to select the cutoff to 360.1 Hertz. Set the resonance to 4.7, this is quite high. And then we're going to select the key tracking and set it to 1.48, right there. Let's take one more listen. As you can see, we're getting there and we're very, very close. The next thing we're gonna do is add some effects to it. And this is going to make all the difference. Let's start off with the distortion. Let's turn it on. The distortion of silent is really what makes it stand out from other synthesizers, because especially for this sound you can get really close with this distortion. We're going to select the amount and the dry wet all the way up and select overdrive right there. And let's listen right now. Without. This difference is just crazy, and you cannot get this in another synthesizer in my experience. So let's fine tune this by finishing up with the EQ and the reverb. So select the EQ. We're going to increase the bass a little bit by 10 point something dB. Set the bass frequency to 880 Hertz. This might sound weird, but it's all about how it sounds. Set the treble to 12 dB plus and change the EQ treble frequency to 641. Make sure to set the mode to 2-pole. Let's take one more listen before we add the reverb. Without. And finally the reverb to add the final touches. We're going to decrease the pre-delay to 69 milliseconds. Nice. Set the dampening almost all the way open to 7.6. Change the size to 5.7. Leave the width as it is and leave the dry wet as it is. And then we have our final sound, which is this. And that's it for this tutorial. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this was helpful to you. I will have this preset on my website for you to download if you want it and you don't feel like remaking this entire thing. So thank you for watching. My name is Matt Flank. See you in the next video. Peace.